Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قُلْ هَذِهِ سَبِيلِي أَدْعُو إِلَى اللَّهِ عَلَى بَصِيرَةٍ أَنَا وَمَنِ اتَّبَعَنِي وَسُبْحَانَ اللَّهِ وَمَا أَنَا مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. Say, this is this is actually, this verse is probably one of the maxims of da'wah. It sets the tone for all da'wah, because Allah is commanding Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, telling them, قُلْ هَذِهِ سَبِيلِي, this is my path. So it's clear what the path is. So he's inviting to a path that is clear and determined. قُلْ هَذِهِ سَبِيلِي أَدْعُو إِلَى اللَّهِ, I invite to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, عَلَى بَصِيرَةٍ, upon clear guidance. أَنَا, I, وَمَنِ اتَّبَعَنِي, and those who follow me. وَسُبْحَانَ اللَّهِ وَمَا أَنَا مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ, glory be to Allah, and I'm not among those who associate others with Allah. So this ayah has, first of all, the sabil is clear. And with it, you invite to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is actually the top of that sabil leads to Him. That path leads to Allah. So you invite them to follow that path that leads to Allah upon clear guidance, basira. You know, he is seeing it, he is understanding it. And not only him, also those who follow him. So the scholars said this is one of the ayah that shows that everyone is able to give da'wah according to the clarity that they have, the guidance that they have. So if somebody says that I'm afraid to give da'wah, which is very, legitimate and very valid concern, but we can say the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, بَلِّغُوا عَنِّي وَلَوْ آيَةً, convey from me even if it were one verse of the Quran. Do you know not Al-Fatiha? You don't know Al-Fatiha? You obviously know Al-Fatiha. And Al-Fatiha has so many great lessons. Do you know how to pray? Do you know how to tell people that there's only one God? Even if it's just on a short note or something that is passing by. So sometimes you may not have the ability to explain everything to people, answer all of their questions, but at least you're able to trigger that question in them, trigger that desire in them to know, or at least show them that you're Muslim. I find that sometimes there was and that's a story that always, there was a homeless man that was always in, here. He stops coming actually. And oftentimes I go and buy him a meal. And I always make sure that he knows I'm Muslim. I give him the meal and say, by the way, I am Muslim. I just say that. Whether he recognizes it or not. Later on, he started saying, Assalamu alaikum to me. So at least, I know it might be just, too much to tell someone about your religion, especially people here don't want to hear anything about religion. But even if you just do some kind gesture to a person and let them know that you're Muslim, and that just putting them on the path, or at least you trigger some type of questioning in them. You don't have to explain anything. Just let them know that you're kind and you are moral because you're Muslim.
I actually think that's a beautiful da'wah tip. It seems like it's a lot or that it's overburdening, but that's exactly what Yusuf alayhi salam did. When the two prisoners came to ask him questions about a dream, he understood, like, these guys aren't leaving until I interpret their dream for them. And so before we talk about your dream, Ya sahibay sijn, O two prisoners, arbabun mutafarriquna khayr, am illahu al-wahid al-qahhar, are two separate gods better, or are different gods better, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wahid al-qahhar? And he starts talking to them and giving them da'wah. So it's like that guy's waiting for a meal. You give him a little bit. You don't hold him hostage for too long, but you give him a little bit. He's willing to hear you talk about your being Muslim. So very beautiful.